This game let you play as a monkey with 2 shotguns fighting a gingerbread man in a space station, and somehow that wasn't even the craziest part. While everyone was obsessing over Halo, the real successors to GoldenEye were quietly building what might be the most perfectly designed shooter ever made. They crammed 9 different time periods, over 100 playable characters, and a level editor that was 15 years ahead of its time onto one GameCube disc. But here's the thing, almost nobody talks about it today, and that's a crime we're about to fix. Today we're diving into how its insane time-traveling campaign, bottomless multiplayer, and revolutionary map editor didn't just make it a classic, they laid the groundwork for features we take for granted in shooters today. We'll explore how it pushed the genre forward only to become a beloved cult classic instead of the king it deserved to be. To understand TimeSplitters 2's genius, you need to know the world it was born into. It's 2002 and console shooters are still figuring things out. GoldenEye had proven FPS games could work on controllers, but the masterminds behind that revolution weren't done. A core group of GoldenEye's creators left Rare to start Free Radical Design. These weren't just any developers. These were the people who literally invented console multiplayer as we know it. After a solid first TimeSplitters focused mainly on multiplayer, they went all in on a sequel that would be bigger and better in every way. While other shooters chased gritty realism, Free Radical made a brilliant choice. They went with stylized and cartoony. This wasn't just about aesthetics, it was a technical masterstroke that let them achieve buttery smooth frame rates and create wildly imaginative worlds. The first level says everything. You're dropped into a Siberian dam, a deliberate, loving nod to GoldenEye's iconic opening. But it's more than tribute, it's a statement. These developers are saying, remember this masterpiece? We built that. Now watch what we do next. This was the true successor to GoldenEye's throne, and it was about to take players on a ride nobody saw coming. TimeSplitters 2's premise is beautifully simple. Alien timesplitters are screwing up history, and you're Sergeant Cortez chasing them through 9 different time periods to steal back powerful time crystals. But here's the first stroke of genius. Time travel isn't a gimmick here, it's the entire design philosophy. Each level is a playable genre movie. 1 minute, you're in 1930s Chicago with a Tommy gun taking down mob bosses. Next, you're sneaking through a gothic 1895 cathedral. Then you're blasting robots in neon-drenched 2019 Neon Tokyo, followed by firefights on a 2401 space station. This gave the game variety that was unheard of then, and honestly, it's still rare today. The inhabit mechanic tied it all together brilliantly. Jump into a new era, inhabit a local hero, detective, spy, whoever fits. It's perfectly explained why your character, weapons, and goals completely changed between missions. And those multiple objectives had pure GoldenEye DNA. You weren't just running from A to B. Missions had multiple evolving goals that changed with difficulty. Easy mode, eliminate the target. Hard mode, sabotage equipment, steal intel, rescue hostages, forcing you to explore every inch of those incredible levels. This was a game that respected your intelligence, rewarding exploration without the hand-holding of modern shooters. The campaign was a masterpiece of pacing and creativity, and a huge part of its secret perfection. As amazing as the campaign was, it was only half the story. For an entire generation, TimeSplitters 2's real soul lived in its split-screen multiplayer sessions with friends crowded around a TV. The multiplayer was, and in many ways still is, the absolute gold standard for local party games. The content here was ridiculous. 16 different multiplayer modes went way beyond basic deathmatch. Virus mode had one infected player trying to curse everyone else, a clear blueprint for Halo's famous infection mode. Shrink made you smaller every time you died, creating the insane risk-reward dynamic where leaders became harder targets.
Surprise, motherfucker!
This was all backed by nearly 100 playable characters, secret agents, gingerbread men, robots, dinosaurs, and of course, the legendary monkey. The pure chaos of 4-player deathmatch between a cowboy, zombie, SWAT officer, and dual-wielding monkey is burned into my memory and everyone who experienced it. And here's the kicker. Every single mode worked with AI bots. This was revolutionary. Even playing alone, the entire multiplayer suite was available. Smart, customizable bots gave infinite replayability without needing an internet connection. While online console gaming was just starting, TimeSplitters 2 perfected the living room party, delivering a complete package right out of the box. The campaign was the foundation and multiplayer was the heart. MapMaker was the game's soul. This was the most forward-thinking feature in any console shooter of its time, a full-blown, easy-to-use level editor. Today we're used to user-generated content in Fortnite or Minecraft, but in 2002, giving console players tools to build multiplayer maps was revolutionary. MapMaker was surprisingly deep. Snap together pre-made rooms, place weapons and items, and create basic custom missions. This single tool gave the game years of extended life. Communities formed just to share the most evil, clever, hilarious maps imaginable. Recreate movie locations, build nonsense mazes filled with proximity mines and flame-throwing snowmen. Imagination was your only limit. MapMaker was Free Radical's ultimate gift to fans. A sign of trust and creativity dedication you rarely see anymore. It turned players from consumers into creators, empowering them to make their own fun long after the credits rolled. This was a peek into gaming's future, where the line between developer and player would blur. I remember playing this game with my brother and our neighborhood friends. Absolutely endless hours of fun. We made our own maps, we played against the bots, we tried all the different modes. This game was seriously so much fun as a multiplayer shooter. With a wildly creative campaign, infinitely fun multiplayer, and a revolutionary map editor, TimeSplitters 2 should be on every greatest of all time list, right next to Halo and Half-Life. For those who played it, it absolutely is. So why does this video say it secretly perfected the FPS formula? The answer is timing. TimeSplitters 2 perfected the living room party right as the world moved that party online. It was the absolute peak of local split-screen shooters, but Halo Combat Evolved had landed a year earlier, and Halo 2 would launch 2 years later, completely changing everything with online console multiplayer. TimeSplitters 2 had no online play on GameCube or PS2. Its genius focused on providing this impossibly generous, self-contained package. While it mastered playing with friends in the same room, the industry looked towards playing with friends across the globe. As the industry moved on, TimeSplitters' quirky, colorful, creative spirit got left behind for more serious online military shooters. But that doesn't make its accomplishments any less special. For many people, this was the shooter of that generation. So I want to hear your memories. What was your go-to character in game mode? Did you spend hours in MapMaker building the perfect death trap? Let me know in the comments below, because this is a game that absolutely deserves to be remembered. TimeSplitters 2 stands as a vibrant monument to a different era of game design. It perfected the first-person shooter not by simplifying it, but by fearlessly expanding it in every way possible. More campaign variety than a dozen modern games, multiplayer built for pure, chaotic fun, and creative tools years ahead of their time. Free Radical Design officially closed in December 2023, crushing hopes for a real series return. But the game itself is timeless, a testament to what happens when a passionate team at their absolute peak decides to cram as much joy, charm, and content into one disc as humanly possible. It may not have worn the crown, but TimeSplitters 2 will forever be the game that secretly and brilliantly perfected the FPS.